we can do a current event.
Let's do current events because we got a lot
come
on
back around.
Yeah.
Listen, the current event in the entertainment industry, what I've been watching is that Shannon Sharp. Come on, Uncle. And I'll be watching your interview. I'll be all in. When you have all the guests on there, I'll be like, yes. I'll be wanting to sip of the that and everything. That cognac, he got me looking nice and right. And I'm not even a dark drinker. I drink the light. He met a girl. Not that it matters that she's Caucasian, but you know, people try to make something out of it, like a difference between the two, us and them.
They're not like us.
They're not like us. I don't know. I don't want to get off into that. But she was 19, supposedly, allegedly, when he met her. And now she's 18, 19, something like that. She was in her teens. And now she's a little older, a couple years older. And she want that 50 ball. 50 million. 50 million for assault in the worst way. So apparently, it's assault. I was trying to find the right word. So apparently, or allegedly, Shannon Sharp into some stuff, some little kinks and trinks and winks and dinks that we don't know nothing about. And he found baby girl, said, I got what you need, and we need 20,000 a cheek, 25, something like that, cheek for cheek. And cheek for cheek. She wanted him to pay for her cheeks. I think it was 25,000 a cheek or 20,000 a cheek or something. So it started off kind of awkward. So cheek to cheek. Well, anyway, there's a lot going on. Next thing you know, I think he offered up 10 mil. That didn't go. She said 50. And then next thing you know, everything broke loose. So therefore, he lost something that had to do with ESPN, whatever contract. He had a $100 million contract. Some kind of way he got fired from ESPN due to allegations, because that was, I guess, a bad look for the company. Yeah, Uncle, you got us in a ball and a knot thinking, what should you do? As if we were you. I don't understand. Don't say nothing. When somebody say something, don't say nothing. Whoever came, paperwork, the people that serve you, you know what I'm saying? Serve you the papers. No, don't take them. Don't answer the door. Don't peep out the hole.
So, people that might not know, like, you went to depth with it, but it's like, I have so many questions because I really didn't know about this. She told me about it. And when she told me about it, I went and looked it up and I'm like, Shannon Sharp. And it's crazy because I'm usually on the internet being nosy. But for some reason, I missed this one. Probably because I've been busy. But I need to do more research as far as who the girl is. But as far as from what I'm taking from it, I feel like Shannon Sharp, and I don't want to be rude, disrespectful for all the Shannon Sharp fans. I'm a Shannon Sharp fan. But I know it was recently going around the internet that Shannon Sharp was looking suspect as far as his...
On the other side of town.
On the other side of town with the way he was moving. And so I remember that circle around the internet and people going crazy and saying, well, Shannon Sharp might be, you know, into the same sex gender or whatever by him, the way he was looking. I know he had like a person. Like, people was just making fun of him the way he carried himself. So I thought that the next headline, big story that would have been on the negative side when it came to Shannon Sharp would be something like that.
Yeah.
But it ended up being a young girl. But at the same time, she wasn't underage, right? She was
over 18.
She was over 18, so she wasn't overage. So she's not a minor, technically, as far as the law would go.
As far as the law.
So he can talk to her.
It's consensual.
What's the problem? Like, what's the scandal in? Is it because...
Okay, the scandal,
like, where's the lawsuit coming in at? Like,
well, I think because no means no. So even if we're halfway up into the point of whatever we got going on behind closed doors, if I decide to say no, right and dead and smack in the middle, it's a no.
I'm blind to this, right? So basically you're telling me that the story is supposedly, allegedly, that in the middle of them having relations or getting together, whatever, being around each other, at some point she told him no, she wasn't interested in the relation, and if he was, he continued to do it, or was
apparently.
So
it has something to do with choking, which I thought choking was a part of the act, from my understanding.
Because you said he was supposedly into
some kinky things,
right?
So I mean,
but it was a little physical.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's where I get the kinky from. Is that I think they're into some kind of acts that cause
he overdid it,
physical. Like
I
don't know if that's dominatrix. I don't know if that's considered
pain is pleasure kind of thing.
Pain is definitely pleasure.
Clearly, she wasn't trying to do what he was trying to do. Maybe
at that particular time.
he didn't know it was time to stop or something like that.
He didn't read the room.
And it's coming off as force now.
That's where the S assault come from.
So now it's supposed to be assault.
With the S in front of it.
But he had been talking to her for how long?
It seemed like a few years. According to what
the paperwork.
According to what they're saying, it seemed like he had been knowing her for a while.
That's such a.
She was OnlyFans, and she was fairly young. She was Caucasian. She had recorded conversations with him that people felt like it was rehearsed, like it was a setup. They feel like it's. I'm not saying it was a setup. I'm saying
people thought it was a setup
or thinks it's a setup,
right? Because we just going off what we hear on the internet, so we don't have.
I don't know
inside.
Sharp personally or the girls. My only opinion is the whole dynamic should have been done more privately, if that was possible, or not at all at her age.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Not at all with the age range, but if you were to do activities like that behind closed doors on your personal time, I think it should be kept as private as it could.
Well, it was private until she made the suit, right?
Right.
So she did the lawsuit.
Right.
So it was private. Once I think, and I'm not mistaken, once it's a lawsuit involved, it's public record, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how I get to the media or whatever, but I believe that it can be searched and it is public record once a lawsuit is involved. Because now it's like the state versus so-and-so or something like that. Or once it hit the court, I think you pretty much can research it. Okay. So now it's out. But
I was going to say, too, a lot of other celebrities talk about Sharp almost has a history of dating younger women almost. The comments that were made, like the comedian Monique was on his show. She made a comment about young girls, and a few people made a comment about him dating younger. And I think he admitted to that. He preferred younger women of legal age. You know what I'm saying? I think he made that clear that they was of legal age, but just younger, a lot younger. Like the 18 and up.
Well, that's a preference for an individual. I mean, can't really say,
whether that's okay or not. I mean,
of course, you don't want to condone under a certain age because it's not legal. It's a lot of times it's not right. And you could say, okay, young, a 40-something-year-old shouldn't be dating a 19, 18-year-old. You could say that as far as saying, no, I'm just saying.
Ain't he older than that?
I'm just throwing a number out there.
Okay.
Like, we can sit there and say, that don't make sense. We can say it all day long, but people are going to do it. You know what I'm saying? For whatever reason.
Whatever reason they have.
But when it do come to that kind of situation, I think when you are dating someone who is 18, 19, 20, and you're clearly years older than them, it's probably not the best idea to put them in those kind of situations where,
especially when that is their thing, though, where they're charging for services as well.
And that's another thing. Like the charging for the services, he should have stayed away from that altogether. I know Shannon Sharp has always been famous, but I know his show didn't really reach a certain number to a certain amount of time. So maybe he was doing this before his show got really popping. I know not Kevin Hart, but Cat Williams took it to a whole nother level. So that might be. But anyway, I don't know when he started the OnlyFans thing, but a person of his stature should probably not even be on OnlyFans is what I'm trying to say.
Oh yeah.
Like when you up there, you got a lot of fame, you got endorsements, you got all this stuff going for you. It's probably best to stay off OnlyFans.
Stay out the way. Stay out the way.
You know what I'm saying? Stay out the way.
That's why I said I think should be kept more private. Maybe somebody with no name, no face, no case.
They did that, and maybe he was married, and that's what they into, and they both consensual with it. That's different. But when you bring in somebody from OnlyFans or from the internet, somebody way younger than you,
Instagram model, no offense, no shade to you.
It always go left.
No shade, but I think it goes left even more when it's like presented to the public, like who these people are. We get to go look you up. All we do is subscribe, and we get to see everything. And then it gets messy. I think it should be no name, no face, no case. That saying that people have somebody in the backwoods of the area.
Not backwoods. That would not be a good.
Well, what I'm saying is,
I get what you're saying, but it's
not open to the public that you would never know. This is a person that I dealt with,
right? Because even though
hiding, but
even though she might not have been as famous or in the same type of famous way that Shannon Sharp was, she still has some type of fame being on OnlyFans. She still has a following. Yeah. It's just OnlyFans following if that's what she on, but she still has a following, and he do too. And yeah, his might be on another level, but hers about to be on another level too, just from this lawsuit.
It's a trap. It reminds me of Superhead.
Oh, no.
Not just this, but just that
I don't know the nature of the case.
It reminds me of those women who get that advantage to be around all these successful rich men. Not that I'm comparing it to her. I'm just saying those.
I'm still confused at what the lawsuit is about.
Well, that's what it is. It's like you cross some boundary within their relationship, which had to do with choking.
So they were involved, but it was something
they
happened
were involved that she didn't like,
and she's calling it us. Okay, and it's understandable.
People feel like she's lying to just get money.
I mean, people are going to feel how they feel. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't know what she went through in the situation. She could have very well said, look, I'm not comfortable with you stopping. It could have, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? So it could have happened.
So that's what it's really about. She said, no,
so is it
I don't want to do this.
Up, like a trial coming up? Or
no, see, I don't know how far it went. Not yet. I haven't been following it, but that's like the bulk of it. Somewhere in between time, she didn't want to do something, and therefore she felt like she was assaulted.
Okay. Well, listen.
In that sense.
For people who have ever been assaulted in any way, definitely have our sympathy out for you guys. And however that go, I wish both parties the best, whatever that may look like on both ends. I hope it gets settled in the right way. You know what I'm saying? That is a deep topic, though. I don't know how to feel about that. I got to read some more.
She had this recording of them talking, and he said something in the conversation. Like, she said she wasn't interested in being choked, and he said something like, yes, you are. This big black man chokes this little white woman type comment. So that didn't sound very good. But I thought, is that the way that they talk to each other? Because they have a certain type of dynamic going on already. But she seems like she's using it as something she don't agree with.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you know how her page was on OnlyFans? That's
I didn't know. I didn't go.
Is it like,
I should have. Because
who knows like what kind of stuff she was doing on OnlyFans as far as like kinky stuff or
right. He like, yeah, you
role
like
play, because it sounded like role play.
It gave me role play vibes too.
And people do that.
It gave me role play vibes too, but it's blowing everybody's mind because now she's trying to say, no, this is not role play. This is not the part that's the role play.
Oh,
I need that 50 million.
Oh, 50 million. What's she suing for?
He offered her 10 at first. They're like, the world's like, why? Why did you offer 10? People feel that if you bring up an offer when you're being sued, you got something to hide. Clearly, or there's something that you don't want to get out. It's like hush money.
Who would want, but think about it, whether it's 100% that or whatever it may be, who will want their key sensitive situation information out in the world? First of all, just off of the lawsuit, he lost to ESPN, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just imagine if any recordings, any videos, anything come out of what he might be into in his privacy of his own home or whatever. Just imagine if that came out, people gonna look at him like, Shannon. Like, you know, unfortunately, the type of business he in, he can't afford to have stuff like that come out about him.
Yeah.
Because he can lose all his endorsements, you know what I'm saying? And the way he get paid. It just is what it is. Like, that's just the downside of it.
About it is that we know that he's not the only one who does these things. It's like knowing, not knowing, but you know. And I'm trying to figure out, you need to hook up with some people who keep their things under wraps. Because I'm sure there are a lot of people involved in scandals that have never been exposed.
Or not even scandals. Not even scandals, but
it could be a scandal.
It could be a scandal.
If it got out.
But it's more of a secret thing that you do in your spare time.
Which I think is perfectly fine.
If that's what you into, and
as long as it don't involve children. God forbid.
Well, yeah, you don't want that, but I'm just saying, you gotta think about what you're doing. Forbid. But at the same time, even though it's like, okay, enjoy fruits of your labor or whatever it is you're enjoying or whatever it is you're doing or whatever you do for you to make yourself feel good and vice versa. Yeah, but at the same time, know who you are. Like, know you Shannon Sharp, know you on this screen, know when it's time to say, hey, that ain't no good look for me. You know what I'm saying?
If it was to get out.
If it was to get out. And if it ain't no good look for
battles.
You, stop. Don't do it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Just don't do it. You know what I'm saying? But some people don't know who they are until things are gone from them, unfortunately. If he doesn't shake back from this, I hope he do. Especially if it's not as bad as it's being painted. But if he don't shake back from this, and he gonna look back, he gonna be like, I was Shannon Sharp. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to do that. That didn't have to be done at the end of the day. Those are extra things that people do to make themselves feel better, or whatever you do to enjoy your life, your life.
Right, but what your comes business behind it? Consequences.
When you involve people, just know that it could go left. And when you on that type of stature and level, you really can't afford it. You couldn't afford that. Now, if you was just regular Joe Blow walking around and you decide to spend your money on certain
that's
things,
not what these women don't want. The regular smuggler Joe Blow. They don't want, Shannon down the street. They want Shannon with the 100 mil, so.
That come with things. And you got to be a responsible person. Once you become Shannon 100 mil.
That work at Kroger's. They don't want that Shannon. They want the Shannon that used to be a football player.
And that's understandable. That's understandable for a woman or anybody to want to accomplish human being. But at the same time, know you're an accomplished human being.
Yeah.
And try not to, I understand. He might have fell in love. Who knows? Yeah. He a human being at the end of the day. But that probably could have been avoided. The OnlyFans thing and the dating people that's into a certain situation probably could have been avoided for him, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess
there's nothing wrong with dating a nice church girl that go to church every Sunday. You know what I mean?
That's still fine.
That's a beautiful lady.
They got the cheek to cheek.
You know what I mean?
No, but
I'm just saying, you gotta be careful. When you on that level, you gotta be careful. You can't. You're not.
But I don't think you realize it till you.
His party days over. They over once he became
who he was
host on this show. Like, as a football player, he might have could have got away with that a little bit. Of course not assault. No, nobody can get away with assault. But I'm saying, as far as
I know what you're saying.
put himself in certain situations.
He
Okay, party guy, young
Yeah.
football player. Of course, you're gonna dib and dab and have fun and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But once he got to a certain level and he started to get his ball rolling with his business, his name, that should have been done. No more funny dates. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No more funny dates.
I agree. I feel like you don't know till you know. It's always one of those things when you have to think back and be like, why did I do that?
That's definitely going to be one of those things that.
How did I even get here?
Why did I even make that move?
I think you know not to make the move before you make it, though. But you
Yeah.
go ahead on and make it. Your flesh is weaker than your spirit. Now I got to take you to church. Now I got to take you to church. The flesh is weak.
If you got to think twice,
What do they say? The soul is with the heart, with something.
just slow down. You gotta think. If you got to think twice, just slow down. Still on allegations, right? It's still
it's
allegedly,
all yeah.
but at the same
It's all
time,
alleged at the end of the day.
He's
but
still losing money and contracts.
You're still
in the middle of it,
losing.
you know?
If you losing, you got to come
And for-
back and
and for a
win,
female,
sir.
and on the flip side, for women that are into OnlyFans or whatever, it's
They're
a
going to
way
be
to
like,
make-
woo, we
Vegas,
next.
no, not even.
We next.
But if that's your lifestyle, just be careful is what I was going to say. Because I don't want to seem one-sided. Like, be careful. Be careful who you talk to. Be careful who you give yourself to, your time to, your attention to. Because you don't want to put yourself in harm's way. And I get it. You making a living too. That was her way of making a living and whatever. But at the end of the day, when it comes to meeting people and dealing with people, be careful. Protect yourself. If it don't seem right, don't do it. It's that simple.
For sure.
If it seems scary, like, oh no, this is not right, get yourself out of the situation. Seriously. You know?
That's so true.
On the flip side.
Because, baby, it's some of these women out here like, it's going to be my turn to spin the wheel. Only because I feel like if you see an opportunity like that, it's all based on what you live for. And I think most of these women are going to live for the money. I'm taking the assault side of it out of it. Just saying that if I can come up with a plan to get money, I mean, ain't that the goal?
Yeah, but you want
don't wanna do that.
Sacrifice yourself
You don't-
too much. You can put yourself in a bad situation. But I get,
No, I'm saying-
I get where a lot of these where it come from.
Well,
I get
would
it.
that be, it'd be one track. I understand on the other end, the Instagram models, the OnlyFans, the things that you use your body to make a means to an end or make ends meet or something. That's an option.
It is.
That's an
I'm
option.
sure a lot of people on OnlyFans, if they
Trickery
can
is real.
meet, a lot of people on OnlyFans, if they can meet someone who would invest in them in a certain way, I'm sure they'll take the opportunity. That's just
That's a
life.
better way of putting it. That's
Yeah.
the nice way of
Yeah.
putting it.
Yeah.
But you take the
But it has to be
investment
legal.
by force.
But it has to be legal.
These women don't take
Because
it by
wouldn't
force.
she get in trouble too if it was anything like that happening?
Was she lying about it and all of
No,
those
I'm just saying
things?
if she was getting paid for something, right, other than being on OnlyFans, it could be a chance that she could be in trouble, right, as well.
I don't know, I guess.
I'm just saying that outside of OnlyFans, if she was supposedly being
Doing
paid
some
to
other
do
stuff
some stuff
that-
other than OnlyFans,
what she was trying,
other than the legal,
whatever her content was.
yeah, I would think she would be in trouble too if that was the case. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you take it
want
to
to
court,
be careful. Yeah, you want to be careful with that situation in general.
For
you know?
sure.
If you're
You
not
gotta be
serious about a
clever, yeah.
person, you gotta be careful with how you deal with people. I don't know how.
I feel like
it
that
works.
definitely can backfire when you start doing cunning things to get money out of it.
Everything is not legal.
Yeah,
Even though
I think
we
that
be
can
trying
backfire.
stuff and doing stuff and we
Yeah.
talk this talk, everything is not legal.
Yeah.
It's laws in place that you got to follow.
I
about
don't know
things
the
right
laws
way.
of it, but I would assume, I would assume that could be a downfall on the other end as well. As it should. I think justice should be served
It will.
on either end.
What's another current event? I got one in my mind, but I don't know if you know about it.
Go ahead,
But
tell it. I don't know.
the Lil Durk situation. Lil Durk got arrested, and I need to do some more reading on it.
Okay.
The story behind it is pretty much an indictment, murder for hire. No, matter of fact, I got one even better for you. Yella Beezy
I like
'Cause
Lil
Lil Durk-
Durk. Okay.
has gotten arrested.
Okay.
He's not doing no shows, nothing. He's in prison.
Okay.
Or jail. Not sure which one. I got to do my research. But Yella Beezy has also been arrested for
I
a
think I
murder
heard
for hire of Mo 3. That's what
Oh,
I'm looking for.
yeah. I heard something similar to that. I don't know the story for real, but he was accused of
So
offing him, right?
Now so right now the story is, well, what I get from it, from what I've read so far, is that he is supposed to be the one who hired the hitman to murder Mo 3, the rapper. So he pretty much a
Everybody ain't
legend.
your friend.
Yeah, he pretty much a legend real quick, right?
Yeah, that was one of my favorite songs.
I like Yella Beezy's music too.
I was about to say, I love him. Go ahead.
They had a beef, I know, back when they was alive, but it was very like, neither one I felt like was really talking about it. And I don't know if they was talking about it in the music, but I know with certain interviews, I know that Yella Beezy tried to downplay it. Or he basically acted like he didn't know Mo 3 in the interviews. He was like, Mo 3, who you talking about? That's how he was saying it. And as far as Mo 3, I don't know if Mo 3 ever really said it. Like, kind of like hush hush. It was like never anything said between the two about each
I want
other.
to say I heard, I can't recall who I heard this from. I want to say I heard maybe through somebody else's conversation that Mo 3 supposedly made a couple of his songs that included Yella Beezy in it, like a diss or something thrown in there, or
See,
somebody rapped about something that led to this point of where Yella Beezy is being accused of this?
All I know is I know that Once More 3 was gone. I know Yella Beezy did an interview and he was just talking about some type of beef and how people was talking on the podcast and how they was doing these interviews, but they didn't understand how serious the beef was that he was in. And that's the point he was trying to make. So I guess he was in some real serious beef. But as far as that, Yella Beezy had got shot before too. And he made a song about it.
Do with Mo 3? Yeah,
that's what people were saying. But you know, a lot of times people say it's rap on rap beef and this and that. And a lot of times it be fake. Or it don't be like what's really going on. Okay. So in this case, the fact that he gets arrested, everybody is the word around that he is supposed to be the person who hired the hitman to kill Mo 3. So now that's what I guess what the charges is that he's going to be facing. Maybe some type of indictment, RICO. I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's probably definitely going to be like a Fed case situation. And if you remember Young Thug's situation, you see how long he was on trial. They finally got him off of trial on some type of probation, which I believe is like 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So they did all of that. They did their job. But at the end of the day, he ended up taking some type of plea, take some type of deal and getting out. After he was probably in jail for a good minimum, probably 3 years in prison while he go through this trial situation. Yeah, so it's going to be a long, drawn out situation with Yella Beezy and Lil Durk.
I gotta run that back because I wasn't following it for sure. It's like some overheard type conversation. And then go back and look at it.
Based off those facts though, what you think about either one? Just a general thought.
I feel like it's giving Tupac Biggie vibes. You know, Biggie said I had nothing to do with Tupac getting robbed. What was that in the elevator and all of that stuff? It's giving that. Like, I feel like sometimes the industry, they turn people against each other in some kind of weird way. Or some kind of way people get convinced that someone is against them. And then that gets a little messy. Not to say that those things didn't happen in that way, because I don't know. But for when it doesn't happen in that way, I do think the industry kind of turns, like makes the beef. Like the media kind of makes the beef. A couple things are thrown out there and it's like he said, she said stuff. And then
I know that they Yella Beezy situation, I think that they both are from Dallas.
Okay.
So I don't know if they, I don't know.
You don't know if they're right. You don't know the history.
Not in that. Right, I don't know the history. There you go. But it is an interesting situation.
But it is some things said. But like I said, every time I see rappers go through that or just entertainers, period, I get the Tupac Biggie vibes. Like, what's the truth, Because this one rapper say it ain't this and then the other one say it ain't that. So we just never know what really took place. And unfortunately, he's not here to defend himself no longer. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace to the people who have passed away.
Name 3, rest in peace. Because he's not here to tell his side of the story to that. Who knows?
So the Lil Durk situation, I think, is related to the King Von situation.
Okay.
Remember King Von got murdered?
Yep.
And they're trying to kind of, I think, do the same thing where it's like a indictment as far as him being a murder for hire and he getting his get back on King Von's killer cousin, I guess it was.
Okay, yeah, remember that.
So that's where that whole thing is coming from. And the thing about the Lil Durk situation is a lot different than Yella Beezy and 3 situation.
Because they really had
because Lil Durk talked a lot about murder and killing. And I don't know if he did that just to sell records or if he just did that to make that like
let me put out there, this is who I am. This is what I do.
Yeah, but a lot of his music was about beef. It was about killings. He mentioned King Von a lot. He mentioned a lot of things. So I think they're going to use his music to as evidence against him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And whatever else they got.
I have a family member that happened to. So that his music was
That's
used
a real thing.
him.
You would think that art would not be.
They put it a part of his. They made it a part of his trial. He made a song about what happened in an incident he was in, and they added it to the trial as evidence.
So there you go. That means what?
Don't
ladies and gentlemen.
Don't rap about it.
No, I wouldn't even say that. Ladies and gentlemen, I would say don't commit a crime. But in an event that you feel that you did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You going to the studio and thinking you just gonna freedom of speech, and even on these internet and all this stuff, don't think that they're not gonna use that against you. I don't know. It's unfortunate in some situations because some situations is really art. Some situations is just people talking You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, but now we don't know.
Their mind.
We think there's people talking. Apparently, we think it's people talking as.
We do. As consumers and as people who, like, I love music. Okay, I do. I love music. I like listening to music. Do I think some of it is bizarre? Yeah. But when rappers talk, hey, I did this, I did that, I do look at it like it's just entertainment. Unfortunately, I do. So when it's being used in certain, I'll be like, dang, a person can't even, you know what I'm saying? It's like a movie to me. Rap is entertainment to me. So like, okay, I get it.
A movie.
If something really happened and this person really did play a part in something, I get it. He's guilty. I get that. But if it's just rap and he just talking about maybe something he's seen, but he doesn't have anything to do with it, or she doesn't have anything to do with it, or something that person been through, it's like, where does the creativity get separated, or the art gets separated from the law. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but the
freedom of
listeners
speech.
will never know that. You know what I mean? It's only the people, that person who's talking about it. Unless you just, they used to call them bubblegum rappers. Unless you just like faking your whole rap.
But people still fake their whole rap, and it's nice.
I mean, but it's okay, and I'm with it. I'm with the bubblegum rap.
I'm with the bubblegum rap too.
But everybody
ain't bubblegum.
Yeah,
that's facts.
Some people talking about what they know, and then you just have to. It's like O.J. Simpson. You got to read between the lines. He said, "I did it."
Well, I'm getting to it. I don't know, but I'm getting to a point.
No, he wrote a book.
I'm getting to a point. I'm getting to a point.
Said he did it. So
I'm getting to a point when it comes to entertainment that I'm not getting too connected to it. It's just like, I hope that didn't happen because you just talked about it in a rap. But at the same time, I want to listen to your rap. You know what I'm saying? Because it's good rap. It's different, but it's like, if that really happened, it's like, I can't even. If it really happened, you you might as well walk in the court system right now and just, here I am.
Yeah.
Here I am.
I don't know if that's the right term for the bubblegum rappers, y'all. My bad. But I assume bubblegum rappers were like the fake, like you're not really living a life.
I think bubblegum rap is like you don't curse. Just like.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
straight.
I might not got the right terminology.
Yeah, but it's all good. We get what you're saying.
But just not living the life you rapped about is cool too. But I don't. I think it's a lot of. There's some rappers that do live the life I guess they're talking about, or they have lived it, or they know something about it, or they know somebody who has. I remember Tupac said that in an interview. I'm a Tupac fan. He said it in an interview about some of the stuff that in his music was people he knew. So it wasn't all on him.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, I say don't rap about it. You're absolutely right. Don't commit the crime first.
Right. The first thing is just try not to commit the crime.
But if you do, don't talk about it. I don't understand that part. That's the part that is like, you might as well take the camera with you and put it on yourself as you commit the crime.
But they're doing that too. I mean, when you pull your phone out and you be like, I'm about to do this, and then you do it. I mean, they're doing that too. At this point, people are doing that too. I guess people are just
like, you want to go to jail?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good thing.
I think so. Like, I think they at a point where a lot of people are at a point where they don't care, or maybe they never been, so they like,
I want to go.
Yeah, it's a field trip or something. Like, nah, it's not.
That's a long field trip,
and it could be a long field trip, and nobody want to go on that field trip.
Not that long.
Oh, no.
You don't want to do the time, don't do the crime.
Exactly.
And there I go. You watched Breakfast Club?
I did not. Please tell me, because I love Breakfast Club. Don't tell me nothing crazy.
I got
a fun fact.
Okay.
It's not a current event, but it's a fun fact. But I'm going to tell you once you get done.
Okay, look.
I might know what you're talking about.
I want to get some clarity because I was trying to watch it.
While you getting the clarity to that, I'm going to get the clarity to Breakfast Club. Angela Yee, I've seen it posted online that she invested in like an apartment building or some type of building downtown Detroit.
Oh.
You should have showed them your sweater.
Oh, yeah.
So you can represent. Okay. Downtown Detroit, your girl Angela Yee. And I was like, what? So listen, Angela Yee, if you ever see this podcast, if you ever see any of this, I look up to you. I've been watching you. I watched you back when you was on the Breakfast Club. I watched you with the Gucci situation. The main thing I like about you, Angela Yee, is that you know how to talk to people. You know how to keep going, even things not going the way you want it to go. Like, I know Charlamagne would always be the one to push those buttons, and you would smooth those buttons over. So Angela Yee, much respect to you. I remember when you started Lip Service or whatever. I know you started Lip Service, you and your girls, and y'all doing y'all thing on that. So you ain't got to respond nothing like that. I know you top tier, but I just wanted to say, I think that's a good look for you that you purchased something downtown Detroit, because downtown Detroit is a growing area and we getting bigger and bigger. And basically, I want to be like you when I grow up. I want to purchase me an apartment, a building, or something downtown Detroit that's going to make me them big butts or whatever the case may be. But congratulations to you, and we thank you for seeing the vision in the D. For real, for real.
Let's go, Angela Yee.
And then you just got to show that sweater off.
Angela Yee.
You got to show that sweater off.
I'm going to have to go get it.
Yeah, go get it, because I can piggyback that off of that. Show the little Detroit sweater, because we just going to represent that real quick. While we on that topic of the D, we going to just show our little sweater off. It's a customized sweater. This is the neighborhood in which we grew up in. We grew up as a youngins. And on the back is the actual neighborhood. It's the map of the neighborhood we grew up in. So if you want to just move a little closer to the camera with it, people can see kind of read it just a little bit. Yep. And then flip it over and show it one more time for the front.
Hold on. I'm going to show it one more time. But I want to let y'all know these streets, because we from the hood. We from Southwest Detroit. You know, all of that Big Meech and all of that stuff. This is where we be at. We on that side of town, 51, 56, 28th Street. We got McGraw Street. We got Junction Street. We got 31st, 32nd, 33rd, 35th, east to west. 94 is the interstate. Let's go.
So show them the front one more time, and then we're going to give y'all a little backstory. So
Southwest Detroit, baby.
So the backstory on here is, no, we not connected to no violence, no gang, no street. We're none of that. We none of that. All right. So the only thing we trying to say here is our backstory to this situation is our grandparents moved from down south. They moved here with a few other family members, and those guys together got jobs within the plant, because here in Michigan, we big on the plant industry, and especially at that time. At that time, you could make a living with the plant. You could take care of a family. So my grandparents, they had about 8 children, and then we are the descendants of those 8 children, and they stayed in a house on that particular street, and those family members connected to my grandparents that are also our family members bought houses around that area. But this was years ago. Those houses are now no longer standing, outdated, a lot of things. So some of our grandparents are both deceased and things like that. So we no longer live there, but we grew up there as children. We have a lot of memories there, come from a really good family and things like that. So that's what we saying. That's just where our parents originated from. And so we just, that's dear to our hearts. And so off of that, we're going to let you go ahead and talk what you want to talk about.
Okay. So I was saying, we were talking about other current events, and I was saying about the Just Hilarious. Now, y'all know that's a comedian that started off, I think, through social media, like her first break or whatever. I think she had been doing it all a while. I don't know what other things she has done because I didn't follow her from the beginning. However, she was on Shannon Sharp. Y'all can go and watch, telling her story. But anyway, she's on a Breakfast Club as a co-host, and with Charlamagne the God and Envy. I believe how it went is when Just Hilarious went on maternity leave, well, she had ended up having a baby. So she wanted this girl, Lauren, I think her name Lauren LaRosa, to fill in for her. And it's somebody she recommended. She said she recommended her to fill in for her spot because she was good at what she does. And so when Just Hilarious decided to come back, Lauren's still here and still in the same position. And now it looks like they're being turned some kind of way against each other. According to Just Hilarious, it made her feel some kind of way. I'm not quite sure what Jess was feeling. I guess she could have been feeling like, my spot is taking. I did this for that reason alone. Not that they couldn't share the same space, but for some reason, Jess felt like sharing the same everything. It came off like, is she really stealing your shine? It made her feel some type of way, is all I'm saying. I guess she thought that it was supposed to be in that moment, and once she was back, things will go back to normal, and they didn't. They kept Lauren LaRosa in her spot. From my understanding, Charlamagne, DJ Envy was all trying to make sure Jess felt comfortable when she got back, but she did not, and that was like a big thing. I think they squashed it. It seemed like it went so fast. I think they squashed it and agreed that they're both talented women and they can work it out and we can both share the same workspace, but it seemed like it was a little touchy.
Okay, so with that being said, this is one of those things I didn't know about.
Okay.
I think I heard a little bit about it, but I didn't really go into it. So you telling me on the Breakfast Club, it was Just Hilarious.
Okay, yeah.
DJ Envy, Charlamagne the God, and what's the other one?
Lauren LaRosa. But
now Lauren LaRosa is a part of the show.
Yes. But she was only supposed to have been, I guess, a fill-in at first for Jess, which was recommended by Jess as well. So when she got back in her position, she like, excuse me.
That's funny because it's like, does it have to be just one woman? Can it be more than one woman on the show?
See, I kind of was like, confused about that too. Because I feel like they're two different kind of people.
Exactly.
And
but
so
I think the show has ran for so long with 2 males and a female. And that female has been probably the go-to or I'm not going to say the leader, but you know how it is when a woman is in a certain space and it's just guys. Sometimes they don't want to share that space with another woman, Yeah. So that's what it's giving me. Like,
that she didn't want to share that space.
She didn't want to share that female seat with another female.
It looked a little funny to me because I was trying to understand where she was coming from. I'm thinking like with having a baby and having your position and having your spot, I guess felt like a little pushed out, left out, or, like, okay, that's all I needed you to do. I'm back now. But I do feel like both women bring different energies to the show. So I would have just assumed that her coming back from her maternity leave, things were been great. But I didn't feel like Lauren had her spot when I listened to the show. When I used to listen in the morning, I felt like Lauren was different the way she approached things and talked about things than Jess.
Absolutely. But I noticed that
I didn't see her taking her spot as far as that go.
Okay. I noticed that I did see a lady on there that I didn't see before, and I automatically assumed Just Hilarious was off the show.
No.
I didn't know that she was still coming back. And I was like, okay, that seemed like a nice lady. Like, Just Hilarious' personality is very like, she say what she want to say.
Well, she a comedian too.
She a comedian and she say what she want to say. It's kind of like she not really about to hold her tongue or nothing like that.
Well, she just with the mess too. That's her whole little...
Right. So it's a different type of vibe. And I get that and I respect that, and that's how she coming. But it's no comparison, like they two different people.
But that's what
the other girl do seem a lot more chill. Not chill, but just she gonna come off a little bit more. She gonna probably watch what she say. It's just two different people, two different personalities.
I definitely.
So
I feel like it's
can they exist in the same space? Of course. If they can work together long enough to do that. Unfortunately, I will say this. How about this? If Jess ever feel like she ready, she could probably have her own thing going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She got probably enough personality for that.
She big enough
she'll
for that.
be able to probably hold her own too in a certain way.
And she still does it on social media. So
Yeah, I mean,
she
you know
have
what I'm
always
saying?
been doing it that way. It's what
But
just got her to these points.
I get one female in the space thing. I kind of get it. I get that some females don't want to work with other females. Our last show, we talked about women and
Working together.
female
Oh,
rivalry.
yeah. Oh, my God.
And, you
And
know,
it doesn't make
we
it any
talked about
better
that.
when people turn you against each other.
They do it a lot in the rap industry too. If you know,
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It can only be one bad B. For another bad B to exist, the other bad B gotta go. Like
Yeah.
I don't know
Y'all
where that
can't
thought
be the
process
same.
come from,
Yeah.
but it's definitely there.
It's always the hero and the villain,
Yeah,
and
and it shouldn't be that way because
Yeah.
when it comes to the males, it could be a million male rappers.
a million
And I feel
male
like it
talk
should be
shows,
a million male female.
a million male podcast things. You
And
know,
it's not a problem.
Yeah,
they
it's
all
like-
different, and females
they-
should be like that too. You know, it kind of make it look like
We can't
women
get
ain't-
along.
or they can't get along, or they're not used to having certain things and stuff. That's not.
I don't think it's true at all. I think
Whatever,
we
can
work
do
for
better
it.
than that. Black women can do better than that, and we can do it, man. We can do it together. It's all good.
We can coexist
They can put it
in the
together.
same habitat.
You sure can.
I think they do great on the show all together. I wasn't sure about that either. Like you said, when I was listening in the morning, going to work, I was like, okay, who is this girl, Lauren, whatever? And I was listening to her, just like, where just at? I realized, like, oh, yeah, the baby, da, da, da. And she ended up coming back. But I did kind of have that same thing, like, oh, is this going to be a new girl on the show? And just might not come back or whatever. So when she did, and she said she felt away, I'm not saying that she felt like Lauren put her in that space, but I didn't know if it was the directors or producers of the Breakfast Club that made her feel that. I know she did say some things that I didn't go back to. It was giving like, Jess, are you giving like a certain energy of?
But you can't be mad at her though. I mean, they gave her that spot. She held it down. They let her hold it down. And hey, if
Which
that
one,
is the
Jess or
case,
that Lauren?
yes, if that is the case, hey, I'm gonna send her over here. But when I get back, you know, I'm not giving up my spot. You know, she's very vocal, so she probably expressed herself before she even left.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It might have felt like she was gonna lose her job.
yeah, I mean,
maybe.
exactly. You know what I'm saying?
can
That's a
get
big
that.
move for her. And then
Right.
it's just like if you got a
get
house and the woman come in your house.
You
this
can't
my
stay
kitchen,
here.
This my, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we can't
It's
have
just-
two queens
that's
running the
just-
same.
That's all that was.
But you
At the
can
same
in this
time, you can
dynamic.
do it. You can do it. These days you could do it. Women,
this
women coming
dynamic-
up, it can be done. Feel me?
Y'all both contributing two different. It's a polygamous relationship. Y'all
All right,
both.
so-
Y'all both creating two different.
But all that said, we probably gonna close this thing on out.
Okay, let's
We
do
gonna
that.
close this thing on out. It's the IIC podcast. Y'all make sure y'all like, y'all comment, y'all subscribe. Y'all,
Southwest. Let's go.
y'all check out some of the other shows that we have on here. We got a few shows. We got some more stuff coming. Y'all don't want to miss it. We gonna keep coming. If y'all just want to hear the audio, we got the audio on the channel and all of that. We might start separating that in another platform. But however, you got audio, you got the visual. However y'all want to do it. All right. So it's Cam and it's
Gorgeous.
and we'll see y'all again. We out.
We out.